The signs He places around us. If you've prayed again and again, asking Allah to remove what is harmful and bring only what is good, yet this person still remains in your life, this is something worth reflecting on. Is it just a coincidence? Or is it a sign that Allah is keeping them in your life for a reason? Allah says in the Qur'an, "And your Lord says, 'Call upon me, I will respond to you.'" Surah Ghafir 40:60. When we make dua for guidance, we often expect a clear answer, either a door to open or a door to close. But sometimes Allah's response is more subtle. Instead of giving us a direct answer, He aligns our circumstances in ways that lead us back to a certain person, again and again. No matter how much distance we try to create, no matter how many times we think we should walk away, something keeps drawing us back. Perhaps every time you pray for clarity, your heart finds peace when thinking of them. Maybe opportunities keep bringing you together, despite all odds. Or maybe you've noticed that even when you ask Allah to remove what's not good for you, this person still remains. If this keeps happening, it's important to ask yourself, is Allah showing me that this person is meant to stay in my life? However, it's essential to distinguish between emotions and divine guidance. Feelings alone can be misleading. But when your du'as align with real-life events, when obstacles that should separate you are removed effortlessly, and when their presence brings tranquility to your heart after prayer, this may be Allah's way of telling you to hold on. Allah's wisdom is greater than our understanding. Sometimes what we think is unclear is actually a sign in itself. If your du'as keep leading you back to them, then perhaps it's time to trust that Allah knows what's best for you, even when you don't fully understand it yet. 3. Your heart finds tranquility with them. One of the most beautiful gifts from Allah in any relationship is peace of heart. When you're with someone who is truly meant to be in your life, their presence brings calmness and security. You don't feel anxious, uncertain, or emotionally unstable. Instead, your heart feels at ease, your mind is clear, and you experience a deep sense of sakana, a tranquility that only Allah can place between two people. Allah tells us in the Qur'an, "And among His signs is that He created for you from yourselves mates, that you may find tranquility in them." Surah Ar-Rum 30:21. This verse reminds us that true companionship, whether in friendship, marriage, or any meaningful relationship, should bring inner peace. It should not make you feel restless, doubtful, or disconnected from Allah. If someone's presence in your life makes you feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually, that is a powerful sign they belong in your journey. But what if a relationship constantly brings distress, uncertainty, or emotional pain? If being with someone fills your heart with doubts, fears, and unease, then that's a warning sign. A bond that's truly meant for you should not drain your soul or pull you away from Allah. Instead, it should feel like a source of comfort and strength. Take a moment to reflect. When you're with this person, do you feel at peace? Do they bring you closer to Allah? Or do they lead you further away from Him? The state of your heart is one of the greatest indicators of Allah's guidance. If their presence gives you a sense of security, if their words and actions ease your worries rather than increase them, then perhaps Allah has placed them in your life for a reason. As a blessing. However, peace doesn't mean the absence of challenges. Every relationship will face difficulties. But if, despite the struggles, your heart always finds comfort and reassurance with them, then this may be a sign that Allah wants you to hold on. 4. They keep appearing in your life. Despite all odds, have you ever tried to distance yourself from someone, thinking it was the right decision, only to find that, no matter what you do, they keep coming back into your life? You move on, yet something always brings you back together. Whether through unexpected meetings, circumstances, or even the people around you, it keeps happening. This isn't just coincidence. It could be a sign that Allah has written their presence into your life for a reason. The Prophet said, "What has passed you was never meant for you, and what has come your way was never going to miss you." This hadith teaches us that everything that happens in our lives is part of Allah's divine decree. If someone is truly not meant for you, no matter how much effort you put into staying connected, they will eventually drift away. But if, despite all efforts to separate, you keep crossing paths in ways that seem beyond your control, this could be a sign that Allah is keeping them in your life for a purpose. However, it's important to look deeper. If this connection is aligned with goodness, faith, and sincerity, then it may be a blessing. But if it pulls you into harm, sin, or emotional distress, then it may be a test. Allah does not place people in our lives to misguide us. He places them either as a gift or as a lesson. Ask yourself, does their presence bring peace or hardship? Does reconnecting with them strengthen your faith or weaken it? If the constant reappearance of this person in your life pushes you toward righteousness, encourages you to be a better Muslim, and doesn't lead to sin, then perhaps their place in your life is meant to remain. Trust in Allah's wisdom. Sometimes what seems like a repeated coincidence is actually a sign of divine planning. If Allah keeps bringing them back into your life despite all odds, reflect on the reason and seek His guidance through prayer and patience. 5. Your Istikhara brings clarity, not distance. One of the greatest blessings Allah has given us when making life decisions is Salat al-Istikhara, the prayer for guidance. It's a beautiful way to seek Allah's wisdom when we are unsure about a person or a situation. If you've prayed Istikhara about whether to keep someone in your life, pay attention to how Allah responds. Do you feel a sense of clarity and ease, or do you experience increasing doubt and discomfort? The Prophet taught us to turn to Allah when facing important choices. He said, "If any one of you intends to undertake a matter, he should offer 2 rak'ahs other than the obligatory prayer, and then say, 'O Allah, if this affair is good for me and my religion, my life, and my hereafter, then decree it for me and make it easy for me.'" Bukhari. This powerful dua reminds us that if something is truly good for us, Allah will make a way for it to stay in our lives, and He will ease our hearts about it. But if it is harmful, He will distance us from it. The key is to trust the outcome, even if it is not immediate. If after praying Istikhara, you notice your heart leaning towards keeping this person in your life, and your circumstances start to align in ways that support this connection, then this may be Allah confirming their place in your journey. Sometimes things begin to fall into place effortlessly. Communication becomes easier. Misunderstandings resolve. The path forward becomes clear. These are signs of divine guidance, not just emotional attachment. But if, after Istikhara, your heart feels restless, uneasy, or surrounded by obstacles, then that may be a warning. Allah doesn't only guide us through dreams or visions, He guides us through the state of our hearts and the unfolding of events. If you feel peace and clarity after seeking Allah's help, then trust that He is guiding you toward what is best. The presence of this person in your life may be a blessing that Allah wants you to hold on to. 6. They help you through tests in life. Life is full of trials, and Allah tests us in many different ways. But in those moments of hardship, Allah often sends certain people to stand by our side, uplift us, and remind us of His wisdom. These individuals are not placed in our lives by accident. They are there for a purpose, to help us grow, to strengthen our faith, or to be a source of comfort during difficult times. Allah reminds us in the Qur'an, "Do the people think that they will be left to say, 'We believe,' and they will not be tested?" Surah Al-Ankabut 29:2. Tests are a natural part of our journey. But when you find someone who supports you through your struggles, reminds you to be patient, and encourages you to trust in Allah's plan, This is a sign of a valuable companion. They don't leave when times get tough. They stand firm, offering sincere advice, emotional strength, and spiritual guidance. Think about the moments when you felt lost, broken, or overwhelmed. Was this person there to remind you to make dua? Did they encourage you to keep going when you wanted to give up? Did their words or actions bring peace to your heart during times of distress? If so, then their presence in your life may be more than just temporary. It may be a mercy from Allah. Not everyone is meant to stay, but some people are placed in our lives as a sign of Allah's love and support. If someone has been a source of strength during your lowest moments, if they've helped you through trials in a way that brought you closer to Allah, then don't dismiss their role in your life too quickly. True companionship is not tested in moments of ease, but in moments of hardship. If this person has been there for you during life's challenges, if their presence brought you hope and faith when you needed it most, then perhaps Allah is telling you they are meant to stay. 7. Their absence feels like a spiritual loss. Here is the final and perhaps most crucial sign. When this person is no longer in your life, do you feel their absence spiritually? It's natural to miss someone after they leave. But there's a difference between temporary, worldly sadness and a deeper spiritual emptiness. If their absence has left you feeling disconnected from your faith, struggling in your worship, or distant from Allah, then this is something worth reflecting on. The Prophet said, "The best of companions are those who remind you of Allah when you see them." Ahmad. A true companion, whether a friend, spouse, or someone close, doesn't just fill your life with good moments. They strengthen your connection with Allah. If being around them made you more consistent in your prayers, more mindful of your actions, and more eager to seek knowledge, then their presence was a blessing from Allah. And if their absence has created a void that affects your spiritual well-being, then this may be a strong sign that they were meant to be in your life. Think about the impact they had on your Deen. Did they encourage you to wake up for Fajr? Did they remind you to trust Allah in difficult times? Did they inspire you to seek forgiveness and grow as a person? If so, then moving on may not be the right choice. Sometimes Allah places people in our lives as a means of keeping us firm in our faith. But be careful. This sign should not be confused with emotional dependence or unhealthy attachment. If missing someone makes you neglect your obligations to Allah or leads you into sin, then that's something different. But if their absence has made you less motivated in your Deen, less connected to Allah, and more spiritually lost, then this is a sign that their presence was a source of goodness that should not be ignored. In the end, the people Allah places in our lives serve a purpose. Some come to test us, some come to teach us, and some come to help us grow closer to Him. If losing someone has created a spiritual gap in your life, then perhaps Allah is telling you, they were sent as a blessing, and letting go may not be the answer. Relationships are one of the many tests Allah places in our lives. Some people are meant to stay with us, guiding us toward goodness, while others are meant to leave, teaching us lessons that help us grow. The key is to remember, Allah's wisdom is always greater than our emotions. At times we feel confused, unsure whether to hold on or let go. But the answer should never come from temporary feelings. It should come from faith, reflection, and trust in Allah's guidance. Allah reminds us in the Qur'an, "It may be that you dislike a thing and it is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing and it is bad for you. And Allah knows, while you know not." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:2-16. This verse teaches us that our knowledge is limited, but Allah sees what we cannot. What we think is right for us may be harmful, and what we struggle to accept may be a hidden blessing. This is why trust in Allah is essential. When you rely on Him, you will never be misguided. So let your decisions be based on faith, not fear. If Allah is showing you signs to hold on to someone, embrace it with gratitude. But if He is guiding you away, accept it with patience. Either way, His plan is always in your favor. Jazakum Allahu khairan for watching. May Allah bless you with righteous companionship and guide you toward what is best for both your dunya and akhirah. Ameen. If you found this video beneficial, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Islamic inspiration. Until next time, may Allah keep you steadfast on the right path.